Welcome to Brudiclad, Telchor Engineers. As far as our opening hand goes, we have two lands, and one of those is not a blue source. Let's go and mulligan on this one, and that's going to be Island, Foundry, Pongify. Yeah, I think we go one more mulligan. This is not, doesn't really sound that fun to hit two lands and maybe not rip into another one. And yes, we will keep on this one. Yes, we can definitely make this work. Let's go ahead and put, we need to put two cards on the bottom. Let's put Chandra on the bottom. And we'll go and put Rite of Replication. I'd love to hold on to Rite of Replication. That's going to be, well, yeah, I think we do, because we can maybe rip a Skull Clamp with Brudiclad. Yeah, let's just hope we get lucky with some sort of card advantage early on, and then we'll be good to go. So let's go lead off with Flooded Strand. I guess we'll just go and go for Skull Clamp. Yeah, that'll work. Let's just go and do that. Let's grab ourselves a Volcanic Island. Let's have Skull Clamp come down, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Brudiclad, Telchor Engineer. Creature tokens you control have haste. Then, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, tokens you control become a copy of that token. So let's say you have a clue token on the battlefield and you have like 1,000,000 servo tokens. If you want to turn all of those servo tokens into a clue token, you can do that with Brudiclad. He allows that. So there you go. If you needed to, I don't know what you're going to be doing with that, but if that's something you needed to do, hey, it can happen. So anything else, let's go and kick it back over to our opponent. We do have Arcane Denial up, so at least we can grab something early on. Or let's say our opponent's trying to jam a pretty quick Meren. Hopefully we can have them tap down Vault, and then we can use Arcane Denial to stop Meren. That'd be a pretty good tempo play for us. And then we have the Royal Scions to filter through our library just a little bit quicker. Playing against Meren of Clan Nailtop. That's going to be 1, 2, oh yeah. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and crack that one. I think that'll be pretty good. So let's have I think, yeah, we're going to go and shock Steam Vents on this one. We will pay 2 life. Let's go for Arcane Denial. This does give our opponent a little bit extra card advantage, but at least we do get to cash in a card draw and stop Gurk Relentless. And with that Mana Vault being tapped down, it's going to be a little bit hard for them to get off to a really explosive start. So it's going to be Golgari Rock Farm coming down. Yeah, I was thinking that we're going to hopefully be able to catch a Meren, but they had one of the bounce lands, so that stopped them from going for Meren. So, but at least we got rid of Gurk, and that gives us a little bit of a chance to catch up. So let's let our opponent, or actually we should have stacked that the other way, but they're tapped out, so it doesn't really matter. But we will cash in a card draw after our opponent gets some card draw, and then we're probably going to end up just going for the Royal Scions. This is pretty much a pretty good sweet spot for the deck. What it wants to be doing is just cashing in some card draw. So let's have Island come down. Let's go for the Royal Scions. And then, there we go. Let's go for the +1 ability, draw a card, then discard a card. Now, we do have Quasi-Duplicate. We can jumpstart this out of the graveyard, so that's going to be a pretty good option for us to discard. Yeah, especially since we just don't really have anything that can take advantage of it right now. So anything else, we're going to go pass turn over to opponent. Play against Meren. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Then at the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that creature card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, if you're keeping score at home, put that bad boy or bad girl or bad them into your hand. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be one of Brudiclad's engineers and be a nice little mirror token that we turn into a clue token, head on over there. We're looking for people who can be a clue token. We got Zella, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So that will be Skull Clamp, so we'll see exactly what's to end up happening that. But let's go and go for the +1 off of the Royal Scions. Cash in a card draw, then discard. Ooh, Mana Crypt. So at this point, if we end up going Mana Crypt, we've got the land drop. That's going to be Brudiclad. I think I kind of like that, because that almost forces our opponent to go for the Skull Clamp activation. But Mimic Vat is actually going to be really... Yeah, let's do this. So let's get rid of Cackling Counterpart. Let's have Misty come down. Let's go for Mana Crypt. Yeah, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could go for Brudiclad, but I really like the option of going for Mimic Vat in this particular scenario, especially against something like Meren. Because with Mimic Vat, what we can do is we can exile whatever non-token creature dies, exile that card, and then we'll be able to kind of clean up their graveyard. So I think I kind of like this just a little bit better. So anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over our opponent. So yes, be sure to check out MTGOTraders. Also, let's give a quick shout out to ingaming.com/jolt. If you go to ingaming.com/jolt, that will apply the coupon code that will allow you to treat yourself with something nice and treat the channel at the same time. Also, if you want to check out some of my playmats, I rebooted my Mad Playmat series where I'm working on some neon signs for particular commanders. So if you want to check that out, go to ingaming.com and search Jolt539, or I'll have a link down in the description below. You can see some of my playmats, which is pretty nifty. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to get your hands on some of these sweet promotional tokens, or you'd like to support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. You get your name in the credits, a whole bunch of awesome, cool things. And if you're keeping score at home, you can grab that scorecard, get your pen ready or your pencil, and check the it's officially free time box. So there we go. All right, so we've got Zealot swinging at Royal Scions. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to let that come on through. And then we'll see what else they have. They're only sitting at 3 mana. So if they do end up going for that pop with Zealot, targeting one of our artifacts, we'll see what they end up grabbing. Okay, they're actually going to end up going for Gonti, so that's going to be okay. One of the things that we do have in this deck is that this deck is kind of a... It's not really something that you're going to be stealing cards from. There are some good cards in here, but for the most part, you get into some really clunky stuff sometimes if you're stealing something. So we'll see what they're going to be grabbing off of Gonti. And if that's the case, I think what we might end up doing is cracking Misty. That way we don't have to worry. Well, I guess technically if we run into Brainstorm, yeah, we'll go and hold on to that just in case we need to shuffle something. So, all right, so we've got the Mana Crypt triggers. Let's go and choose Tails on this one. We are 0 for 1 on those Mana Crypt triggers, and then we draw into Foundry of the Councils. So at this point, we do have enough mana for Brudiclad. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we want to Skull Clamp that Mirror token, which sounds like a pretty good plan, I think we need to do that. So let's have Foundry come down. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go for Brudiclad. We're going to have Brudiclad enter the battlefield. Once he does, we're going to get that token at the beginning of combat, and that's also going to allow us to... yeah, we're just gonna click OK on that. Mir does have haste, but we don't want to swing into old Gonti over there because he would just eat up that Mir token, turn him into a necklace. Let's go and crack Misty. Let's grab ourselves. We've already grabbed our dual sources. Let's grab an island, and let's go and skull clamp this Mir token. There we go. All right. We're going to Skull Clamp that one, cash in 2 extra card draw, and this should help us out with a Royal Scion activation too. So let's go for the +1 ability, draw a card, and then discard a card. Cascade, yeah, we'll just get rid of Cascading Bluffs, and then anything else, no, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we do have Spell Swindle in the hand. That's going to give us some really nice tokens. Our opponents didn't really have that much mana out there, but if we can leave open Spell Swindle, the good thing about that is, with Brudiclad, is it doesn't matter where your tokens come from. If we end up with a bunch of treasure tokens, we can turn those into 2/1 Mirror tokens. It's not the best thing you could be doing against something like Meren, but at least you can have an instant board state off of a spell like Spell Swindle. So that's one of the fun things that makes Brudiclad so much fun, is that you can just turn anything into a board state. Now, as far as Brudiclad goes, if you haven't seen Brudiclad, let's say you're new to the channel, what are we doing with Brudiclad today? Brudiclad is, oh, bummer, Merciless. We still have Mimic Vat that we can actually exile that Merciless Executioner for, and I think we will end up doing that. So we're going to have to sacrifice Brudiclad. Brudiclad's going to go back to the command zone. We will, yes, definitely use that ability, exile Merciless Executioner. And I think when we exile another card... Oh, no, excuse me. So I'm going to go back to the graveyard. So at this point, I think we're pretty much okay with... Yeah, let's go and grab Mimic Vat. Let's do that with Zealot. I think that'll be good. Because if they're going to be able to... Oh, yeah, and the Zealot's going to be exiled. Awesome. Okay, that worked out perfectly. So, all right, so we got Gonti swinging in at the Royal Scions, and if they do decide to end up going for Meren, we've got Spell Swindle, so we've got some time to do some stuff. So, hopefully our Mana Crypt trigger doesn't treat us wrong, and that'd be the only thing that would be kind of bad. So, all right, so we lost the flip. We're 0 for 2 on those Mana Crypt triggers, and then we run into River's Rebuke. So let's go Sulphur Falls. Let's dig a little bit deeper with the Royal Scions. And then, ooh, that's going to be Mystical Tutor, yeah. Let's get rid of River's Rebuke. And then at this point right now, I think what we're going to do is we're simply just going to go and pass the turn. I like that. Because we've got, oh, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we get to 1 more mana, I think we got enough mana for a Kicked Rite of Replication. And we got ourselves a Gonti on the battlefield. That sounds like a pretty fun play to go for. So, all right, so we're definitely going to be holding up Spell Swindle to counter whatever they decide to go for. Hopefully they try to go for Meren. That's going to give us 5 or at least 4 tokens on the battlefield, which will allow us to kind of build up our board state for Brudiclad. One of the good things about Brudiclad is that even if you get it down early and it does get sent back to the command zone, with Brudiclad is that it gives your tokens haste. So you pretty much, it's kind of almost like just having this enchantment or artifact off to the side. You know, you're not going to be swinging in with Brudiclad. Oh, yes. We will Spell Swindle this one in a heartbeat. So it's going to be 1-2. And one of my favorite things about this deck is it's not crazy overpowered. You have to scrape by to get your wins, like, all the time. And I absolutely love it. So, all right, so let's go ahead and go for Mystical Tutor. Let's have old Gonti swing in for 2. Oh, yeah. So we're going to jam a Mystical Tutor. And let's get this popped out. And yeah, I think we've got to go for a Rite of Replication. Let's do that. All right, so we're going to go for Rite of Replication. That's going to be on top of our library. We're going to draw into that. Unfortunately, we're going to only end up with 1 Gonti on the battlefield, but hey, let's have some fun. So choose Tails on this one. 1 the flip. We are 1 for 3 on our Mana Crypt triggers. And let's go for Rite of Replication with the kicker cost. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna Rite of Replication on Gonti. That's gonna give us some. Oh yes, look at these triggers. Doesn't matter which Gonti trigger. We're gonna keep this one. The rest go to the graveyard. But look at all those beautiful Gonti triggers. That's feels like we're playing Gonti Black Friday. We will grab Tribe Elder because that's the only legal option for us to grab. Let's see what else is in the next pile. That's gonna be Brutalizer. Search your library for a creature card. We could go for that. Reclamation Sage would get rid of that Mana Vault, which would kind of help us out. Moldervine, Reclamation, whenever a creature. Yeah, I think. Now, Brutalizer does allow us to grab certain creatures and put it on top. That could be one of our token producers, but if we're going to. I think Reclamation Sage just really keeps us open. And so let's go for the next pile. That was a pretty good pile to choose from. Dark Ritual, Grave Titan. Yes. We're going to grab Grave Titan. And then let's see what else we rip off of this one. Diabolic Servitude. So we'll go and grab Diabolic Servitude since that's the only legal option that we can grab. And then we'll see what this last trigger is. Caustic Catapult, Spore Frog. Ooh, the Noxious Gear Hulk. And that will end up being an... Actually, I think I like this. Let's grab Noxious Gear Hulk. If we end up going Caustic Caterpillar does kind of help us out, but all right, Poto's going to scoop it up on this one. Game's not over yet, but I guess our opponent's just going to, yeah, I guess we'll just, that is a win condition for the deck, just going wide with some value. And so we were going to grab Noxious Gear Hulk with this one. What we were going to be able to assemble going forward, probably going to close the game out. I don't know. Our opponent kind of scooped a little bit early, but we're going to go and toss this one as a win since we got a Rite of Replication off of Gonti. So we've got a Grave Titan coming out, which is going to allow us to get some extra tokens. That allows us to go for Brudiclad. We've got a token with Gonti, which we can turn into that. And then once we grab this Noxious Gear Hulk, this is going to give us an extra win condition to close the game out. Because since Noxious Gear Hulk is an artifact, we can have all of our tokens turned into that Noxious Gear Hulk. They're all going to have menace, and there's going to allow us to all swing in and close the game out. So I'm going to toss that as not a complete win, but an opponent scoops to a Rite of Replication on Gonti. We will take that as a W. So if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Brudiclad, Telchor Engineers. As far as our opening hand goes, we do have 4 lands, and we've got like a Preordain and a Fabricate. I mean, I guess we could keep on this. I mean, that we do dig a little bit deeper with Preordained. We can grab whatever sort of artifact we want with Fabricate. But other than that, I'm not super. Yeah, let's go and Mulligan. I'm just not super wild about this opening hand. So let's go and Mulligan. And yes, we will keep on this one. We got a Planeswalker. We have a Rite of Replication. We'll keep on this. We need to put 1 on the bottom. I guess at this point, we'll just put Cackling Counterpart and then click OK. So let's go and lead off with the Island. Let's go for Ponder. And also give a little bit of a Ponder alert if you didn't know. If you look in the background art of Ponder, there's somebody staring back at you, since M12. So a little spooky. So we've got Anticipate Chromatic. Yeah, this is a very nice top part of our library. So let's put Pull from Tomorrow on top. Let's go for Anticipate, and then we'll put Chromatic Lantern on top. I'm not going to shuffle our library, so we'll draw into that Chromatic Lantern, and then anything else. We're going to pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Brudiclad, Telchor Engineer. Creature tokens you control have haste. Then, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then, you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. So let's say that we've got a lot of clue tokens going, and we want to make even more clue tokens going. The Brudiclad allows that, which is very nice. So anything else, but yeah, you can, just as long as it's a token, that's all that Brudiclad cares about. So if you want to have an entire board state of clue tokens, hey, Brudiclad's your person. Play against Sigarda. Flying hexproof spells and abilities. Let's go for Anticipate really quick. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. So I guess at this point it wouldn't be that bad to get some sort of token producing option. So we do have Metallurgic Summonings, Pull from Tomorrow, and Talrand. So I think at this point we'll just grab Talrand because that gives us a little option for just building up some tokens, like I said. So opponent's going to get Lotus Cobra down, and then we'll see if they've got anything else that they need to go for. If not, then we're going to be on for Chromatic Lantern, and then be able to go from there. So see what we rip into for the turn. That's going to be a Sulfur Fall. So let's go ahead and go for that because that's going to come into play untapped. Let's go for Chromatic Lantern. 1, 2, 3. Then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be one of Brudiclad's Telchor engineers, and sorry, buddy, you're going to have to work on a Saturday. Hey, head over to MTGOTraders. Telchor will put you to work on a Saturday. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/Jolt. If you go to there, that will apply the coupon code. That'll help the channel at the same time. Or if you want to check out some of my play mats, I got some Mad Mat series rebooted. You can check out the little Ring Grace neon mat. I've got some other mats in the work. And so if you want to check those out, go to the website, search Jolt539. You'll be able to see my artist page and check out some of my play mats. And, oh, Lotus Cobra, sorry. Lotus Cobra is such a good card for Commander. It's just such a nice ramp card, and especially if it goes unchecked. I mean, it is. I mean, you get a fetch land down. That's like 3 mana, which is just that's some good magic right there. Let's have Island come down. Now, Sigarda does have hexproof. What we could do if we wanted to is we could Rite of Replication on Lotus Cobra. Yeah, let's do this. So let's have Talrand come down. We're gonna use Chromatic Lantern, and we'll use double blue. There we go. Have Talrand come down, and then anything else will kick it back over to our opponent. Last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to cool content like this, make sure it sticks around. Make sure that you're a patron of my Patreon. Also, if you'd like to get your hand on some of the promotional tokens of the month, make sure that you're a patron. You'll be automatically entered into the giveaway. So if you're keeping score at home, you can grab that scorecard and say, hey, partner, guess what? It's officially free time. Let's have some fun. All right, so opponent's going to go for Banishing Light, which is, I love the promo version of that. It looks very good. But yeah, that's going to grab Talrand, so it's going to stop that. Not the end of the world. You know, the way this deck is set up, this is kind of a blue-red Brudiclad tempo deck. We want to slowly get some of those tokens developed over the course of the game, and then get down Brudiclad as a finisher. So that's pretty much the game plan. Okay, so we've got Island, so that's going to be... Now, we are looking at 9 mana for Rite of Replication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 3 away, which is not the worst. If we go for Saheeli, that's pretty much just going to be Sigarda swinging in at her for next turn. I mean, Rite of Replication on Lotus Cobra is nice, but it doesn't really help us out too much. I'm almost kind of more tempted to go for Brudiclad, just to see if it's going to stick. Now, we could try to go for Swiftfoot Boots, but if they've got spot removal, they've got it. So let's just tap out for Brudiclad, see if this is good, and then we'll slowly be able to get some tokens turn after turn. And if that is the case, then we can kind of maybe use Rite of Replication as a little bit of our win condition. Now, if they don't go for Path to Exile or Swords, yeah, we'll go and swing in. We'll have this mirror become a copy of a mirror. And actually, we'll hold this mirror back. That way we can stop the Lotus Cobra combat damage win that our opponent's trying to symbol. So there we go. Opponent didn't have Path to Exile or Swords to Plowshare, or more than likely they didn't. They probably would have used it at the end of the turn if they did. And so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that Brudiclad does stick around, because if Brudiclad does stick around, that will allow us to slowly build up some tokens, and then if they get down some sort of nice creature, we can at least make a copy of it with the Rite of Replication, and that'll make it just a little bit better. So, and actually, if that's the case, next turn we're probably going to be going for Saheeli We can actually go Saheeli and go for Swiftfoot Boots, so that'll be a pretty good option. Now, we do have an artifact creature. Opponent is going for E-Call. Oh, there we go. I was about to say they can grab whatever they want to deal with Brudiclad, and that's going to be a Palace Jailer. So there we go. It's going to get rid of Brudiclad and give them some very nice card draws. So we have a mirror token, though. If you're keeping score at home, we have the the single mirror token. That'll kind of help us out. Let's go for a Temple of Epiphany. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a little scry and a little scurry going. But it's not looking so hot right now. So let's go Temple of Epiphany, get that scry, see what's on top. Let's definitely put that on the bottom. Yeah, and I think we just end up going Saheeli. Or actually, if you end up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we Rite of Replication on Palace Jailer. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, let's cast Rite of Replication on Palace Jailer. Because at least that just allows us to get rid of their Palace Jailer. But no, then it's going to come back. So we're going to become the Monarch. And let's just go and exile at this point. Let's just go and exile Lotus Cobra, because at this point, we don't really want them to get another extra Palace Jailer trigger. And so we're going to use it to cash in some card draw. And let's go for Swiftfoot Boots. Let's just go and get that on the battlefield, because that might end up helping us out with Brudiclad. And then anything else, let's just go and pass it back over to our opponent. So kick it back over there. We're going to hold up Mirror Token at this point, because at least it does stop Palace Jailer. And then we draw into the Victor's Fair, so not the best thing for us to rip into. We are looking at 10 total commander damage, so that is getting a little bit of win condition for our opponent, so we'll see what we can assemble. But as far as this Brudiclad deck, if you haven't seen this before, this is pretty much just kind of blue-red tempo. We want to use some sort of early token enabler. We did have Talrand out there earlier, and what that does is it does allow us to whenever it deals combat damage, draw a card. Okay, all right, so that's going to be 6. Either way, that's going to basically take away an extra combat commander damage step, so they're going to be able to at least close it out next turn. If we don't get a flying threat, if we don't get some sort of removal, that will be good game. So let's see what we draw into. We've got Expansion, which is not going to stop that threat in the air, because we only have 5. We can go for Inventor's Fair, but unfortunately with Sigarda having Hexproof and Totem Armor, we're not going to be able to do anything about that. So, good game. Good game to our opponent. They're going to get it on this one. We're going to go and scoop this one up and save them a combat step. But if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.